So, this morning we are so honored to have Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson as our speaker. Before I introduce Reverend Raymond, though, I do want to mention somebody else. Tracy Rhymes, his executive assistant. She was originally attracted to being around him because he taught sign language, which she was attracted to. And then she went along with him to Unity Church and got attracted to a new way of believing and practicing. And then she realized that she really was attracted to the whole path, and so she asked and offered to be working with him. And so she has been his dedicated assistant for I don't even know how long, but she's been here every time I see him or see her. I would like to thank you for being a support. We usually don't get to see the support system behind these speakers. This morning we did. Thank you, Tracy. All right, Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson has been frequently referred to as a Renaissance man, and as a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, self-awakening, and being a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, actor, sign language interpreter, and instructor. He's also a published author. His books are available on Amazon. He's also a Reiki master and a grandfather, and has a whole library of stories to tell. And I don't want to keep talking because I'm sure you'd rather hear from him. And so, Reverend Dr. Raymond Anderson, speaking about study your voice according to thy word. Yes.
So how's everybody this morning? Very good. So you know that we're doing this whole A World That Works for Everyone for the year, right? Right? Right. Those of you who know me know that this is a participatory kind of thing. So when I ask a question. So for February, the theme is we believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in everyone, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit. Right? So today specifically, I'm talking about discovering your voice. Specifically that. Now, if I were to ask, well, what does that mean? Each one of us is going to probably have a different answer. And I remember a time when I had no idea what that meant. But from 2000 to 2003, I was a student at VCU, studying theater and getting my MFA as a theater educator, right? And my specific focus was movement for the actor. And one of the things that I had to study was fight choreography. And the instructor kept telling me over and over and over to find my voice. I'm choreographing a fight for Romeo and Juliet, and I'm supposed to find my voice? Isn't that for the actors to do? It took me a while for it to click in that as the choreographer, I'm supposed to be putting my voice, my expression, into how this particular aspect of the play contributes to the overall voice of the play, so that the audience members leave feeling whatever it is they're meant to feel. Sad, happy, joy, whatever it is they're meant to take. My contribution as the fight choreographer plays into that. Then I started to realize that throughout all of my life, messages kept coming up telling me, find your voice. Whether it was as a visual artist, find your voice. Whether it was as a sign language interpreter, find your voice. Meaning your particular way of signing, your particular way of drawing and painting, your particular way of acting, your particular way of teaching. Find your voice. Now we already know, we say that there is one Spirit showing up in and as and through all of us, right? So pause for a second. There's this ocean. And every wave and all of them are unique and different. Because you've heard the saying that if you step in a river twice, it's never the same river. No wave is the same wave. No matter how it looks, how it appears, it's not the same wave, but it's still coming from the same one ocean. How are we, as the wave, in the ocean of source, expressing? Now, part of this how we express is how we speak. Amy, if I were to ask you, in the realm of acting, are there particular terms and words that an actor can say to another actor that a non-actor would have no idea what you're talking about? Yeah. Michelle, as a singer, as a vocalist, are there things that people are going to, when you speak to another vocalist, things that you and Amy can talk about that none of the rest of us, like, what? Yeah. Nancy, where are you? Nancy, as an artist, are there things that when you paint that another person who is not an artist would have no idea what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yes. Each of these people, each of us have our own ways of expressing. That is your voice as a vocalist, as an artist, as an actor, as a mom, as a dad, as a grandparent, as a teacher. But my question is, as a metaphysician, as God in human form, what language do you speak? What words are you using to demonstrate that you are this God in human form? A parent, you know someone's a parent by the way that they speak, the way that they talk about this person who's beside them. There are certain words that they're going to use about this person that you're going to say, that must be their son or their daughter. That must be their mom or their dad. And I may not know for sure, but by the words that they speak, I know that they care about this person. You can tell by the words that you use what the person is thinking and feeling. So if someone from the outside was to bump into you down the street at Starbucks, would they know that you are magnificent by the words that you speak? By the language that you use? Would they know that there's something, I don't know, this lady came in and she had this red jacket on and I don't know, the way she was talking, all she did was order the caramel macchiato, but I heard her and I felt uplifted. I don't know. She didn't even say anything like it. She didn't turn to me and say, you are amazing. She didn't say that. She just said, can I have a caramel macchiato, half soy, half something? But the way she said it, I heard something underneath that was different. What is it that we're saying that is communicating that we are magnificent? I'm going to read something for you. Mind is individualized but never individual. This mind, which is universal, will never be any less than universal. It will never be individual, but it will be individualized. There is a great difference. The wave in the ocean will never be a wave by itself. It will always be the ocean as a wave. We are not separated from life, neither is it separated from us. But we are separate entities in it, individualized centers of God consciousness. Each and every one of us is source. Period. Plain and simple. How do you go about your regular everyday life as that? So let me pause for a second. Yesterday I was sitting in the house and thinking about and meditating on, what exactly does this mean? And flicking through the channels, and Tracy found the movie, and I can't think of the name of it at the top of my head right now, but the movie about Stephen Hawking?
Yeah.
Theory of Everything. And it was near the end. And at the end of the movie, he comes out and he's doing a speech thing to a group of students and peers and whatnot. And one person asked him something about God. And he says, ever since the dawn of civilization, people have craved for an understanding of the unifying order of the world. There ought to be something very special about the boundary conditions of the universe. And what can be more special than that there is no boundary? There is no boundary. Amy, and I've asked you this before, how many songs could be written? You have a certain number of keys, but how many songs could you potentially write?
No idea.
No idea. Nancy, how many paintings? You have a certain number of colors, but how many paintings could you potentially paint?
Infinite.
Infinite. Michelle, how many songs? Every human has a story. How many plays? There is an infinite number of. Leslie, how many prayers could a practitioner? There's an infinite number of everything. If that isn't magnificent, then what is? The moment we step into this realization and say, it's an awfully big coat for me to put on, that I'm magnificent. Just the thought of saying that, I am magnificent. But you're not. You realize that, right? You're not magnificent. You're magnificence. Showing up in human form. Because something that's magnificent can be not magnificent. You know what I mean? Something that is showing up as loving can be unloving. But if you are love itself, you are love itself, period. That's it. And if you are love itself, you have no choice but to be love in expression. So you're not magnificent. You're magnificence in expression. And the moment each and every one of us acknowledges that and steps into that and fully embraces that, then each one of us becomes a tipping point for a world that works for everyone. Because as a person who is magnificence personified, you will expect and accept nothing less. Your friends must be magnificence. Why would someone who is 3 steps back? If you love yourself, and I mean you love yourself, you take care of you and you brush and you do you, then why would you get into a relationship or a friendship with someone who disrespects you? You do everything you could possibly do for you because you love you that much. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. I love me that much. Why would I get into a relationship, a friendship with someone who disrespects me? Does that make sense? No. So if you are magnificence personified, then why would you socialize, hang out with people who want to pull you down and dim your light? You wouldn't. So as each one of us step into that, I'm magnificence. And as magnificence, walking through this experience of life, I take that magnificence with me. As magnificence, I look into the world and look into the eyes of others, and I see, because I know, you may not know it for yourself, but I know it. So when I go into Starbucks and I look at the barista, I see that glimmer that they may not be aware of, and I speak to them as magnificence. And it raises their light. And they don't even know what's going on. But by the way I speak to them, my words encourage them. Come on, shine. Come on, you got it. I'm no different than you. We are both one. The love that is in me is in you. Shine that light. But I can't do that if I'm not being that. How many times have we heard God, Source, Spirit cannot do through us what we will not allow, what we are not ready for, what we are not accepting of? We've heard it often, right? But I want you to pause for a second. Bobby, might I have slide number 1? What do you see?
Bunch of little pictures.
Bunch of little pictures. Related to what, though? Star Trek. Bunch of little pictures related to Star Trek. And they look individual and, separate and different stories being told, and someone's like, oh, I remember that episode, right? Number 2. That's what it came from. First glance, you saw individual pictures. But when you zoom out far enough, you see that there is a oneness. When you are that individual picture, and that's all you see. I am this one little picture. I am this one person called Ray, and that's all. And that's where you're moving and living and breathing from. Woe is me. My life is miserable. Ugh. And it may not even be, well, my life is miserable. It may be, oh, my life is pretty good, but I'm just an island all by myself. But zoom out far enough and you see that you are interconnected to oneness. And when you live from that place, you know that your corner and my corner are not separate. Because from that corner to that corner, there are thousands of other pieces, all connected in oneness. And that's magnificent. When we step into that, how could we not be an expression of total and complete? I am that I am. I am without limit. I am without bounds. The moment I feel inspiration rise up in me to do whatever, inspiration tells me, Ray, write. Do I quell it? Do I ignore it? Or do I write? When inspiration says, Ray, sing. Tracy's going to be annoyed, but sing, man, sing. Do I quell it? No, I sing. And I sing as if my name is Michelle or Amy, hitting all of the wrong notes, because no note is actually wrong. In the grand scheme of things, now, if I'm singing G-A-G-E, G-A-G-E, right? That's how it's supposed to be played. But if I G-A-G-B, for that particular song, boop, that is the wrong answer. But in another song, it's right and perfect. So there is no wrong note. There's this note in this song is perfect harmony. The more we back away from feeling wrong, feeling less than, feeling and back away from it, and say, I'm willing to believe I'm something greater. I'm willing to believe that I am part of this, even if I don't see it. Even if from my perspective, that's all I see. So I may not be able to see a world that works for everyone because I can't see the world. Can you see your world? Can you make your world a world that works for everyone in your world? Your brothers, your sisters, yourself, your kids, your neighbors. Whatever your world consists of, can you make that work? And maybe that's too much. Maybe it's like, oh, if you knew my neighbors, then back away, back away. Can you make your world a world that works for you? Can you make everything that you do in your life work for you? Because that's magnificence personified. Now, you already know, for those who know me, I love acronyms. So I'm going to give you a couple, okay? So, ready? Voice. Vision. Vision for your life. We do this thing called visioning practice and which is different than visualization. Visioning is opening up for Source to say, this is what I am as you. You have to have, why do churches and centers have a vision? If you can't see it, you can't be it. What is the vision that you are holding for your life? Oh, Odyssey. Your life is an adventure. Every hero's journey has a moment where the hero falls down. Dorothy, Perseus, Luke Skywalker. It doesn't matter. Every moment there is I've fallen. Every moment in a hero's journey it happens. But we know what happens after that. There's a line in Batman where Bruce Wayne's father is saying to him, which later Alfred reminds him, Bruce, why do we fall? So that we can get back up. Falling is a lesson. Go and embrace the entire journey, embrace the entire adventure. Many times we metaphysicical folks, I don't want it, and we try to deny aspects of stuff. We deny the shadow, we deny the darkness, you can't. Not to be a full, whole, integrated being, you must realize that there's yin and yang. Embrace it all, because that's the only way you can transmute it and move through it. What you ignore, you can't address, you can't change, you can't transmogrify anything that you're not willing to say and do it to, okay? Inspired, being in spirit. What gets you going? What is that thing that makes you feel alive? If you don't have one, because you have one, just FYI, everyone has one. You're God. How could you not have this thing called inspiration? If you're not aware of what it is, go into meditation and ask. Vision and ask. Because there's something that gets us going, makes us feel revitalized and zeal and whatever that is, tap into it on a daily basis. If a day goes by that you did not hug and embrace that thing called inspiration, then that's a day where you said, yeah, Source, yeah, I know, I got you, but I'm going to cut you off somewhere right about here. I know you're trying to come here. Open at the top, but I'm not really open right here, so just deposit it here. We have to be open and connect in order for the true magnificence that we are to be expressed. Embrace both your humanity and your divinity. I know it is often said that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And on one level, yes, I agree wholeheartedly. But that human experience somehow makes it seem like there's something separate. So I say, we are spiritual beings having a spiritual experience that we call human. Everything, if you're a spiritual being, then everything you do is a spiritual experience. Eating dinner, going to the bathroom, driving, shoveling snow, all of it is God in action. Anybody shovel snow recently? Did you know that you were God shoveling snow? Technically, God holding God, shoveling God. Technically. And when you get to that place, you know that this can be a form of meditation. It doesn't have to be, it can actually be, it'll all get done when it gets done. Scoop, bend, lift, breathe, dump. It's going to take a long time, but it can be a form of meditation because it's still a sacred act. It doesn't have to be separate. So we're talking about finding your voice through the power of your word.
You skipped the C.
Yes, see.
Oh, thank you. Please forgive me. Thank you. C. Create and celebrate. We have to create and celebrate. It's often said we're co-creators. Well, that sort of implies that there's a co that I'm creating with. This implies something separate. I'm a creator. I am all of creation showing up as me, creating. I'm creating relationships and friendships. I'm creating a world that works for everyone. I'm creating love and harmony and joy through the power of my words when I'm speaking to the person who apparently is having a really rough day at Shoppers, and just my words of encouragement and how I say, what's her name? Debbie. Hey, Debbie, how are you today? You know it's going to get better. No, smile. Smile, Debbie. Thank you. Whatever it is that I choose to do, I'm creating an opportunity in her to let go of whatever may have been holding her down. And celebrate. What is this place called? Celebration Center. I expect everybody in here to demonstrate that. In every aspect of your life, celebrate. Because it's one thing to say, I'm grateful, right? But someone doesn't really know you're grateful if your gratefulness isn't being expressed. And gratefulness expressed is how you rejoice. Rejoice for being alive. Rejoice for having a job or being retired. Rejoice for being who and what you are. Find reasons to say, this is good. Oh my goodness, this is good. Everything about this is good. Hey, you, Mr. in the car. Me. That's good. Yes, I love you. Namaste. I don't know why you gave me that finger, but I love you. Hey, take care. I'm celebrating every moment and aspect of my life because what I'm here to do is to be magnificence personified. Real quickly. Word. W. Walk the walk. Whatever that means to you, find how to take this concept, these principles, science of mind, metaphysics. How do I take the steps that need to be taken? Am I taking classes? Am I engaging in conversation that's more than just, hey, how are you today? You good? I'm good? Okay, bye. But let's talk about what it means to be a practitioner. Let's talk about what it means to be a person of excellence. Let's talk about what love in expression means. Walk the walk. Oh, omni. We talk about God's source being omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. That's you. Start feeling into that I am omnipresent. Just because I feel that that's my square, it's not. Because there's not a spot where God is not. And if that includes me in this thing called God, then I am part of everything. There is no wisdom out there for me I have to find it, I have to. The moment I get still, I realize that the infinite allness of all wisdom, I have access to it because I am it and it is me. So step into that and realize, omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. I am that. R, raison d'être, my French is raison d'être. Your reason for being. Why are you here? Now there's the why are you here? But then there's the why are you here? Source chose to show up as you. Why? What is yours to do? How can you exemplify and express something so great as the I am? All of creation, the universe itself, the thing that put the stars and the moon and right here. Now what can I do with that? What do I want to do with it? And then D, dive in. No more pussyfooting it, no more, how we slow down, Rick. Some of us as adults do this, but we often watch kids go to the edge of the pool. If you're not going to go swimming, go back in the house. Yeah, I'm going to go swimming. Then go swim. And they'll put their feet in, and they'll play in the water. But if you're not going to dive in, all in, how do you jump out of the plane?
Good now.
You're either in the plane or you're out of the plane. If you're going to jump and go. There's a little story. It says, he called them to the edge and they were afraid. And he called them, come on, it's okay. And they came to the edge and he pushed them and they flew. It's time for each one of us to go to the edge, knowing who and what we are, knowing how truly magnificent we are. Go to the edge, jump, and fly. And so it is.